Hello everyone, my name is Catherine. Welcome to the Literacy Services Department ESL Level 3 Intermediate class. Today's lesson will be on modal verbs. Let's get started. Modal verbs are expression of verbs such as ability, permission, advice, obligation, and possibility. Think of modal verbs as your mood of your verb or the mood of your action word. For example, you can use the modal verbs can and could to express your ability. For example, David can speak 3 languages. He could speak fluent French when he was 5. If you notice, can is in the present tense, and could is in the past tense. Sometimes we forget to use or how to use can or could, so we can use able to. For example, David can speak 3 languages, or you can say David is able to speak 3 languages. Another example is could. He could speak fluent French when he was 5. Or you can say, he was able to speak fluent French when he was 5. More modal verbs of using can, could, or may to express permission. For example, can I sit in that chair, please? Could I open the window? May I borrow your dictionary? You can also say, are you able to sit in that chair? So you can replace can I sit with are you able to? You can replace could I open the window with were you able to open the window? Since may, the word may, is very formal, you would not replace it. You would keep the formal, may I borrow your dictionary? The words can and could are polite ways of asking for permission. Modal verbs should express advice, or I advise you, or I recommend. For example, you should visit your dentist at least twice a year. You should try to lose weight. Or you could say, I advise you to visit your dentist at least twice a year. So you would not say advice you. You would say I advise with an S. So you would replace you should with I advise you to visit your dentist at least twice a year. The modal verbs must and have to express obligation or oblige you to. For example, I must memorize all these rules about tenses. Or you can say, I oblige you to memorize all of these rules about tenses. So you must do something. You have to do something. That expresses obligation. The modal verbs might, may, could, can express possibility. For example, it looks nice, but it might be very expensive. Richard may be coming to see us tomorrow. Next are modal verbs asking permission, as we had discussed before. Permission: can, could, and may. So as I mentioned before, informal, polite, formal, and polite. So we would use asking permission, can. Can I borrow your pen for a minute? Can I speak to John Wilson? So this is informal, as if you were to speak to your friend or to your mother. Sometimes when we speak to our mother, we want to be a little bit more polite. So we would say, may I ask a question, please? May we go home now? Or, could I please have a glass of beer? Could I open the window? Sometimes when we speak to our teachers or to our friends or to our parents, we still want to be more polite. And we would say, would you mind if I ask you something? Or, could I have a glass of beer? Or, may I ask a question, please? So these are all types of way to ask for permission. Now, let's test our knowledge. Choosing the correct option. Number 1, I may not ride a bike. I always fall off. Does that make sense? Or, I can't ride a bike. I always fall off. Yes, I can't. So that would be B. Number 2, you look sick. You should see a doctor. Or, you look sick. You can see a doctor. Or, you look sick. You may see a doctor. If you are sick, you should see a doctor. A. Number 3, students can take exams twice a year. B. Students must take exams twice a year. C. Students may take exams twice a year. I think that should be must, because students must take exams twice a year. Remember, when we use the word must, we are obliged to do it. Number 4, sorry, I didn't have to come yesterday. Sorry, I couldn't come yesterday. Sorry, I might not come yesterday. I think we should say, sorry, I couldn't come yesterday. B. Remember, couldn't is the ability to. Are you able to? Number 5, one must move with the times. One may move with the times. One could move with the times. We should say one must move with the times. Remember, must is we are obliged to. We have to move with the times. Number 6, I may not get you out of my mind. I am not to get you out of my mind. I can't get you out of my mind. It would be, I can't get you out of my mind. Remember, can't is the ability. So this is the negative. Can, cannot. I am not able to. Number 7, he was very busy but still was able to visit us. This should be was able to. He was very busy but still had to visit us. He was very busy but still he was to visit us. It should be he was very busy but still he was able to visit us. Was able to. Remember, he was able to. Okay? Able to. Lastly, number 8. If he saves enough money, he will be able to buy a car next year. If he saves enough money, he can buy a car next year. If he saves enough money, he could buy a car next year. Now, this is a little tricky. We're saying if. So if, this would be next year, it would be the future tense. So we would say will be able to. Well, that's it, folks. I hope you had a great lesson on modal verbs and you were able to understand a little bit further on how to use the English language. Thank you and have a wonderful day.